I think it was a really important game for me to watch. It was a good time. It probably taught me a lot more than a training session would. Managed to get sort of minutes into virtually everybody apart from I think 3 or 4 players. So yeah, I mean, it was a game we were expected to win, but like Mickey, I learned a lot from just sitting up there and watching things, and a lot, I want to try and work on and make some sort of changes, not just in formation, but almost like cultural changes, really, with tempo and intensity and things like that. But that doesn't happen overnight. That's a problem when a manager comes in any time that isn't the start of pre-season. You're coming in and that willing or trying to change things, but wary of the fact that you don't want to try and change too much too soon, try and overload people with information and things. So it's going to be a work in progress, but as I say, we've only had 2 training sessions so far. Today we've done what we could in difficult circumstances. It was really windy, really blowy, very tough for them to hear me. So, but as I say, it's not going to happen overnight. But the things I'd like to change, we're starting to do that now, and the players so far have been really responsive. I think the main thing that the first thing I'm going to try and do is just change the mentality slightly and the atmosphere a little bit, and just try and raise the positivity and not just the players, the whole place, the fans if I can, and because York have had a tough couple of years, but it needs to start somewhere, and hopefully new manager, new start, and everybody will get on board. Yeah, well, first couple of games really, 2 of the top teams in the league back to back, but it'll give us, a really good reminder of where we are really. So, I watched them last week. They played against Truro. It wasn't quite a game against Redcar, but it wasn't a team that asked them many questions either. So I'm sure we'll be able to ask them a lot more questions than I saw them on Saturday. We have got a lot more quality than the team they were playing against, but we need to get that belief back, and we need to be hard to play against. First of all, we need to be very tough. We need to be a team that people don't want to play against. And I know it's a nice stadium to come to for an opposition, especially teams that have always been at this level or even lower. But we want to start making Bootham Crescent this season while we're still here a tough place to come. And obviously away against Stockport's a tough way to go as it is. But the pressure is off a little bit away from home. Stockport have been flying lately. They've scored plenty of goals. The form that York have been in, people would expect Stockport to be favourites for that game. But new manager, as I say, new start, players hopefully looking to impress, players that may not have been involved. I'm not too fussed about who's played when. I'm going to pick the team on what I've saw so far and what I think suits the shape that we're going to play. And so yeah, as I say, couldn't be a better time to get there really, to go there and just have a real go. Well, like any other manager, I want to start off with a win. I want to get straight off on the front foot. Managers typically when they come in, or a lot of times, have had that effect, that bounce effect. Hopefully that'll work in our favour as well. But Stockport's just the start of a journey where there will be changes. There'll be mentality changes. There'll be changes throughout the club, as in not necessarily personnel, but the way we go about things, training days, schedules, everything is going to have to be looked at. But at the moment, with 3 training sessions in, we're playing a team who's arguably the form team in the league at the moment. So that's all we're focusing on. Got loads of ideas and I've got loads of things I'd like to do, but as I say, you can't change Rome in a day. So it's a case of we're focusing now on trying to pick the best team that can go out and give Stockport a really tough game. I think you're looking at crowds, you're looking at history, you're looking at the fact they've been league clubs, the size of the ground. I think New Year's Day, I think Stockport had the biggest crowd in any of the non-league football. So it's arguably 2 of the biggest clubs in non-league football. Forget the leagues, history and everything playing on Saturday. So it should be a great atmosphere. It should be it's a great first game for me. Well, obviously you don't come into a job like this if the team's in the top 3. So there's clearly too many goals being conceded, and maybe not enough at the other end as well. But I do think that's your starting point, especially away from home. Be tough to beat, be resolute, be compact, and the work rate and the work ethic's got to be spot on, and everybody's got to know the jobs with and without the ball. But as I say, that's so many messages you want to get across, but as I say, you can't put them all in at once because it'll just be an overload really. I've got a rough idea, but as I say, 2 days training, one game which I had very little input into really, and there'll be one more sort of tapered down training session tomorrow. So all I can do is, luckily I know a lot of the players from the past. I know what they're capable of, but I would say the first couple of weeks will be a little bit experimental for us, because everything is, and that's the thing, nobody's really got any sort of rights to come knocking on my door anyway at this stage. So whatever team I pick, that'll be their chance. And if they keep the shirt, it's because they've done well, they've played well, they've done what I've asked, they've tried to do what I've asked, and hopefully they've produced a positive result. And whichever 11 starts, the ball's in their court after that. I'm not sure Simon will be ready, but as we stand, yeah, everybody else is, and luckily Aga's sending off doesn't affect the league. I think the good teams in this league could certainly hold their own in the league above, but I also think the good teams in the league above can hold their own in League Two. I don't think there's a massive void between these three leagues, to be honest with you, from what I've saw so far. Gets a bit tougher after that, but as I say, there's nothing really, certainly with everything that's in place. With that bit of luck, and obviously we've all got to do our jobs well, why we can't be looking towards climbing. But first things first, this season's all about getting the positivity back, getting hopefully a bit of momentum, and seeing where that takes us with results, and then come the end of the season we'll see where we are, and we'll set different goals. Again, it's too early. I'm still at the stage where I'm assessing the squad, where we're really strong, where we've got cover, where we haven't got cover, where we need more cover, and I'm in a position where we've sent 4 of the 5 loans back. So Liam will obviously 100% be involved in some way on Saturday. I'll get a better look at him again then, a better look at him tomorrow in training. And 4 days for anybody isn't a great deal to assess them, but that's what I'm faced with regarding him in particular. But the rest of the group are all under the same spotlight, although the rest of them have all got contracts to the end of the season. I think when you haven't got a massive squad and you haven't got 22 world-class players to choose from, or 24 like a lot of the big clubs, then you have to have players, and that's how I tend to recruit as well. I tend to recruit along the lines of getting players who aren't just one-trick ponies, players that we can use in different positions. I did that at Gateshead with a small squad. People like Robbie Tinkler who can play 3 or 4 positions are important to us. So yeah, it's good that Kemps can do that. I just wanted to have a quick look at 3 at the back, just to see if it looked like it was something we could go with the personnel that we've got. It didn't particularly look like they were ready for that yet, but that again, that's something we'll look at, and if the recruitment goes our way, and that might be something we'll look at as the season goes on. I thought Kempstow he stuck to it pretty well. I've watched him. I actually watched him for Whitley Bay, and was interested in taking him to to Gateshead when I was there. But I think he went down to Port Vale, and then he ended up signing for York. But he's got good energy, and he's probably maybe one of the only 1 or 2 that kept trying to be positive, break the lines, get into the box. And we're not going to we can't go to Stockport and expect to soak up pressure for 90 minutes. We need to test them the other way, and we need people that can go beyond. So he didn't do himself any harm on the night, to be honest with you. I thought Griff played really well, right back. But as I say, it was a tough game to assess people on. I'm pleased we didn't come out there with any injuries, and as I say, it's a work in progress. We'll see how the next few weeks go.